Hey everybody, how you doing? Scott Kincaid here from Kincaid Woodworking, and this is my first time ever going live. So if you're here watching, great. If I'm doing something wrong, just let me know, and we'll see if we can fix it. Comments are open, so I don't see anyone on right now, but we're going to talk as if everybody is checking things out. So let's see here. So anyway, today I wanted to come and talk to you guys about goal setting, and I want to bring in the new year right. And you know, this is a big year for us. We've just been kind of growing by leaps and bounds, and more than we ever expected. but now we're looking towards 2018, and we've noticed this last year that we didn't do the best job setting goals last year. I mean, I had internal goals, and I've always been a big proponent of goal setting, but this last year, I kind of lost sight of where I wanted to be, and I kind of let my emotions and excitement for growing and things like that kind of move me in directions that were both beneficial but also a little bit not expected. So I really wasn't prepared emotionally or mentally to handle them. Also, we had some crazy things, kind of news happen this last few weeks that are going to really change how we do business in Kincaid Working and how I, Scott Kincaid, as an individual, make changes throughout this upcoming year. So with that, we want to make sure that you know, that we're setting our goals properly and that we're looking ahead and seeing what kind of things we can do to better ourselves personally, myself and my wife, and also what kind of stuff we can do to make our business just kick ass. You know, that's the whole goal here, right? Is to really do good things and offer great products to people and do great things for vets out there, which we always like doing. Always try to give away to a few charities and whatnot that help vets throughout the year. And so, yeah, we'd like to expand, like to all that kind of stuff. So part of that today is that what we want to do is talk to you guys, now that I'm done rambling, about goals, about how to set our goals, how we as individuals, as businesses, as family, as friends, as dads, as sisters, as brothers, as kids, any teenagers out there, maybe you guys can check out some of these ideas too. We can talk about how we can accomplish things throughout the year that are really going to help make us better as people and better as parts of our families and friend units. Cool. So I wrote some of this stuff down. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. I want to get all my ideas on paper so I didn't completely ramble for the next 10 or 15 minutes so that we can come up with some good ideas. Let me show you what's going on there. It's crazy. Branding, baby. It's all about branding. Feel free to leave a comment if you don't like what I'm saying, or if you do like what I'm saying, or if you have a story to add to it, or you want to talk about your personal goals, then by all means, feel free to add to it. But let's talk about a few things today. I want to start off talking about the purpose of goal setting. Why do we want to set goals? That sounds like a pretty obvious answer. I found, now mind you, I am not a scientist. I am an engineer, but I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And quite frankly, I don't know the difference between the two anyway. Who really does? But I'm not a guy who knows, you know, all the statistics. But I do know that I've been in charge of running divisions of people in the military for a lot of years, and captains of teams since high school. And I've always strived to be a guy who leads, not a guy who follows. And with that, I've had a lot of humbling experiences, and I've been fortunate enough to work for a lot of people and have mentors, a lot of mentors who really taught me a ton about leadership and goal setting. So all these things that I want to bring up are things I've learned over the years, and things that in the last 20 years in the military I've learned, in the last just always wanting to be a leader. That's the stuff that I've learned really helps. So purpose of goal setting, it motivates. First and foremost, if you have a goal to look forward to, it gives you something to strive for every day. I've done a lot of goal setting throughout my life, but one thing I've always struggled with is my belly. I'm a big guy, right? Never been a small guy. I've tried, damn it, many times, but I just have always been a big guy. And unfortunately, that means that unlike a lot of people who are like me, who are I'm very I wouldn't say I'm an athlete, but I'm an athletic guy. I'm out constantly working out. I'm out constantly running. I constantly do sports, and I love doing that kind of stuff. But I have to very, very, very much so be conscious about what I eat and what kind of exercise I'm doing. And I'm not always very good about it because, quite frankly, I love tacos and I love candy bars and all that num-nums. So a goal setting that I do is what I found is that when I set a goal to be a certain weight or to lose a certain weight by a certain time, that it absolutely, it motivates me to go stick on task there with that goal. And I say, okay, if I want to lose 40 pounds by, I don't know, we'll say September, then I can go, okay, September 1st, I can set a goal and I can set a schedule to meet that goal. And it motivates me every day to go, you know what? I can pass on that candy bar. I can pass on that num-num because the ultimate goal needs to be met. It grounds you in a path. So like I said, if not only does it motivate you to get that end goal every day, so if my goal is to lose 40 pounds in 10 months, then not only does it motivate me to meet that path or meet that end goal, but that daily grind, it grinds me in that path. I get the daily assurance that I'm making the right decisions because ultimately I'm going to meet that end goal, that big, larger goal of losing that 40 pounds. And then it allows me to feel even the minor accomplishments as well as the bigger accomplishments. So when I set a goal of losing 40 pounds over 10 months, I can say to myself, okay, that's 4 pounds a month. And then that means 1 pound a week. So it doesn't seem like a lot, especially for a guy like me. A lot of us guys, a pound I can fluctuate a lot with a good old BM. So like a lot of guys can, right? Like my wife, she knows when she loses 1 pound during a day. I have no clue how, but she recognizes it. Me, and like, a lot of people, you just, you go all over the place. So, but if you can start setting those goals, 2 pounds every 2 weeks, 4 pounds a month, hey, that's a goal you can be accomplished about. You can look at it and go, okay, hey, that's a definite, I'm 161 this morning. I'm 242 this morning. Whatever you want to say you are, you're there, you've met your goal for that month. And so you get these feelings of good accomplishments. And what that does is that grounds you in a feeling of self-worth throughout that goal setting and goal meeting. As you meet those smaller goals, your sense of self-worth grows and it motivates you to further your goals, right? Okay, so let's talk about goal sizes. Okay, so there's 3 things. The purpose of goal setting: we want to motivate ourselves. We want to ground yourself in that path towards your motivation, towards your goals rather, and you want to feel those senses of accomplishment, which everyone likes to feel good about themselves. So the goal sizes. Let's talk about goal sizes. It's pretty obvious. There's small goals and there's large goals, right? I've found that small goals are something that there's a couple requirements. You want to kind of keep those short. A small goal would be, like I said, if I want to lose that 40 pounds in 10 months, the small goal is, and I'm going to do that by losing 4 pounds a month. And that's a small goal. That's an attainable goal. I'm going to lose 1 pound a week. I'm going to do that by running. Okay, so I'm going to run a minimum of 15 miles a week or 20 miles a week, and that's that small short time goal that you can know that you accomplish every week. And then that will obviously lead to your larger goals. But that's my next point, is that small goals should lead to larger goals. So when we set that goal of 40 pounds over 10 months, right, that's our large goal. Our big goal is about 40 pounds. But your small goals should always lead towards something. So if statistically, if it takes about 18 days to learn or lose a habit. So if you continue to do the same thing and have the same goals for 18 days, right, eventually that's going to get knocked in your head of, if I want to eat no sugar, it takes your body, I don't know physiologically, but the habit of losing or getting rid of that sugar takes about 18 days of not eating that sugar for 18 days to get in the habit of not eating sugar all the time, right? Or the habit of not smoking, or the habit of walking, or the habit of waking up and resetting your biological clock. It takes about 18 days to reset that clock and then reset that mindset. So if you make your smaller goals around that week, 2 week, maybe even 18-day format of saying, for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to accomplish this goal, it's attainable, right? Which is awesome. And then if you can make it lead to a larger goal, you're only bettering yourself to the long-term goals. So those small sense of accomplishment will add up. Okay, and then cool, the large goals, they need to be accomplishment oriented, right? So, and they need to have a finite number, a finite issue revolved around, right? So I want to lose a lot of weight this year. Well, is that really a goal? I don't think that's really a goal. Sure, it's a good feeling to lose a lot of weight, but define a lot of weight. If to you, my wife, she's a petite runner, 40 pounds would make her, look outrageously skinny. She could never do, I don't think she has 40 pounds to lose on her, but 40 pounds to me would make me look like a smaller big guy. So put a number to the goals that you have. If you want to climb a mountain, don't just say, I want to climb a big mountain this year. Say, I want to climb Mount St. Helens, or I want to, if you're stationed in Japan, I want to climb Fuji this year. That's my goal. I want to climb Rainier. I had a buddy one year, a couple years ago, he wanted to climb Rainier, and he made that goal. And within a short period of time, boom, dude just woke up one day, had buddies gave him the opportunity, drove to Rainier, and climbed Rainier in one day, which is a little bit nutty. But the point is, he made it a goal. He worked a ton towards it, and he made that goal. He had that goal accomplished. So pretty awesome stuff. But the point is, they need to be accomplishment oriented. So put a definite number on that, and then make them attainable, but barely attainable. So my goal this year, right? One of my goals this last year, right, 2017, was to run a marathon. And that marathon for a 260-pound dude is no joke, right? One thing I learned throughout marathon training is that you don't lose weight during marathon training. That blew my mind. I thought for sure you'd lose weight during marathon training, but in fact, it's very difficult to lose weight during marathon training. So I ran a marathon at 260 pounds, but that was my goal, damn it, and I'm going to make it happen. And so I worked really hard, and I started off with small runs, 3 miles, 4 miles, and I did it consistently. And I worked my Saturday runs up until, before you knew it, on Saturdays, within a few months, it took months to build up there, I was doing 20-mile runs on Saturday. But I'll tell you, when I made that goal, I was really pumped about it. And then about 2 weeks later, I realized, holy crap, 26.2 miles is outrageous. How the heck am I ever going to run 26.2 miles? This is insanity. What's wrong with me? But it's attainable, but barely. And when I finished it up, oh God, it felt amazing. It's easily the hardest accomplishment I've ever done physically in my life. And I just felt truly accomplished, like I'd attained a goal that was almost unattainable for me. And boy, it felt great. So what do I do this year? I say, hey, my goal is to run another marathon, but I want to take my time from the 450 I got last time. I want to do a sub 4-hour marathon. So that seems to me, take an hour off your marathon time. That's an unattainable goal, or a barely rather attainable goal. And it's going to be hard to get there, but we're going to make it happen. So yeah, so for your goals, we have the small goals. We want to make them, they should lead to larger goals, right? And they should be fairly short, as in a couple of weeks. Now, 18-day time range is what we're talking about, right? Oh, sorry about that. People joined in. Hi, Joe, and hi, Dale. Good to see you. Chris, you are not on live TV. I am on live TV, but it's good to see you, buddy. So yeah, so the goals, small goals, should be attainable, or should lead to larger goals, and should be fairly short, and like I said, that 18-day time range, right? And then the large goals, we want them accomplishment oriented. So once again, accomplishment oriented. Set a goal. I want to accomplish this specific goal by this specific date, and then you'll make it happen, right? And then make them barely attainable. Make them attainable, just make them barely attainable. Cool. So we've talked about the purpose of goal setting, and we've talked about goals, small and large. And Joe, good question. Is this a woodworking show? It is a woodworking show and a not woodworking show. This is about me. I mean, I'm on here doing what I'm doing, and so I thought about, every time I come on here, let's make it about building a new project. But to be honest with you, that I get so busy in woodworking that sometimes I forget to just get out there and talk to people and say what my thoughts are. And hey, I like to talk, and we all know me. So, so there'll be times that we come on here and we talk about woodworking, and we have projects that go on, and other times we'll talk about whatever I want to talk about. Or if you have something you guys want to talk about, by all means, throw it on there, throw it on the web, on the Facebook page, and I'll be happy to talk about that. Maybe we do a whole show on that one day. We'll see. Okay, cool. So let's talk about categories. Dale, I am exactly like my dad. I'm a talker. The old man, he rubs off me a little bit. Categories. Okay, we got personal goals and professional goals, and that's where I kind of want to base around, right? So everyone has a profession. Now, if your profession is being a housewife, don't let anyone tell you that's not a profession. My wife just left for 3 days to go visit my eldest daughter who's off to college. And Amethyst, I love you. And let me tell you, handling 2 young girls all day long, baths and teeth brushing and food and keeping them from tearing each other's hair out and just trying to braid a little girl's hair while she sits still. Almost impossible. I don't get it. It's not actually, you know what? That's an unattainable goal for Scott Kincaid. So yeah, even if you're a housewife, that's an absolutely professional thing. That that's a very much profession. So everyone, my point is a professional in some sense. And so let's talk about personal and professional goal setting, right? And personal, let's talk about my personal. I think personal goals need to, like I said, they don't necessarily need to overlap professionally, but everything you do is going to benefit you personally, and the more you benefit yourself personally, the more you grow, and the better you become as a dad and a brother and an uncle and a son and a coworker and a boss and whatever you are, right? Whew. Okay, keep talking, Scott. I can do this. If there's one thing I can do, it's ramble. I'm the rambling kid, they call me. The old rambler-stir, I think that's a technical term. The rambler-stir. All right, cool. So for personal goals, let's talk about my personal goals. I wanted to share some goals with you. You guys can always just come on and let me know what kind of goals you guys got going on this year. But personal goals I have is I want to run that 4-hour marathon like I told you about. That's gonna oddly enough, I use that as an example. That's gonna require me to probably lose about 40 pounds. But hey, I can do it. And the other personal goal I have is to run a perfect PRT. Now, this sounds crazy because I'm a big dude, but if you're not a military guy, all right, Joe, thanks for stopping by. I know we're kind of doing this late on the 2017, December 31st. Everybody's got parties to go to. Good talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you again, Joe. By the way, I'll have your plaque for you on Tuesday if you want to hit me up. I'm on duty. So personal goal, side note, sorry. Personal goals, to run that 4-hour marathon and then run a perfect PRT. If you're not in the military, the PRT is a physical readiness test, and there's a couple of different aspects to it. A, they check to see if you're fat, and then B, which I usually struggle with that part, and then B, they check to see if you're in good shape, which is generally not an issue for me. I generally run in the outstanding or excellent category, but I've always wanted to run a perfect PRT, which is, I think I checked, it's like a sub 9:12 mile-and-a-half time, and which I've done before, and so that's going to be tough. But I weighed about 205 when I did it, so that's going to have a lot of weight to lose. And then push-ups and sit-ups are just do a lot of them. So usually I think they're, for my age, somewhere in the 85-90 range for both those. You do 85 push-ups, 85 sit-ups in 2 minutes. So that's my goal, perfect PRT. And then professionally, we had a kind of a weird setback this year. I was supposed to be retiring from the military this year, and that looks like that's not going to happen. Not due to any choice of our own, but unfortunately, Navy policy sometimes changes, and that's going to require that I go along with it. And I'm done moping about it. We got to move forward anyway. And so one of my goals this year was to retire and open up a shop full time that I was going to personally man, and then move on that way, and let this be my career for the rest of my life. That isn't going to happen because I'll still keep my full-time job for the next couple of years. So we're going to open a shop, and I'm going to have to figure out how to accomplish that goal by my goal is by December 1st. I'd like some sort of a brick and mortar or a kiosk that I am running employees to sell my products. And I need to do a better job defining that goal, but the goal is, the date is December 1st and of 2018, and the goal is that is very specifically that I have a brick and mortar or a kiosk, so a place that someone can physically go and order plaques, physically go and order sublimation, whatever I'm doing. So so that's that professional goal, and then I'd also like to establish a standalone website. So that being said, that the goal for that one is by the 4th of July, I'm going to have a, no kidding, working, when you go to KincaidWoodworking.com, it doesn't just send you to Etsy, it sends you to a standalone Kincaid woodworking website. And there'll also be, we're actually going to go through a little bit of changes as far as more of a gifts type website. So you can, I'm starting to sell so much stuff that's not just woodworking anymore, that we're going to start pushing gifts and things like that out. But hey, are you jetting, Chris? If so, have a good New Year. It was good seeing you. Real quick, I want to post. Chris posted that his goals for 2018 is he wants to successfully complete his internship with the Honorable Ted Ardini with the Missouri Court of Appeals. Awesome job on getting that, Chris. Chris called me about a month ago and said, "Hey, I have this opportunity. What do you think about being an intern at the District Court of Appeals in Missouri?" And you know what? I just encouraged him, and he already knew the right answer, which is just go out and get what your dreams are. And man, he got that internship, doing an awesome job. Glad to hear it, man. Educational, get all A's in law school, and which you're on your way, man. You got the motivation. You're smart. You got a good attitude. Keep it up, dude. And then get all A's in law school, and then then goal, not be fat. Amen, brother. I'm with you. That's my goal every day. Unfortunately, we are coming hardcore into Girl Scout cookie season time, so that's going to be a rough one for me. And then personal goal, get Scott to join the Bernie train. You can keep dreaming on that. That's probably never going to happen, but I like that you got a goal that is definitely probably not attainable. But hey, your attitude's the right place. And Bernie is he's if I can give him, I'll give him. I may not agree with him on 99% of what he says, but I do agree with him that he loves America. I think we just have completely different views on how to run it. But I do appreciate your goal. Keep it up, dude. And I will keep up the good work. And my family will have a good 2018. And we'll talk to you later, brother. So, professional. Go back to my goals. Sorry. Personal. We're gonna run that 4-hour marathon, and we're gonna get that perfect PRT. And then professional speaking, gonna open that shop. And we are going to do a standalone website, so you guys can go to Kincaid Working and probably Kincaid Gifts and Apparel shop and order all kinds of, just more of a generic gifts. Not generic. Nothing I do is generic. I don't really like that kind of stuff. But that's going to be a website that we can kind of offer all kinds of stuff. Anywhere from mugs to tumblers to shirts and towels and all kinds of cool stuff that's a lot of fun to make and give away as gifts, but not really woodworking oriented. Okay, so that's what I have on goals. To recap, we talked about the purpose of goal setting. Motivates you want something that motivates you. It grounds you in a path and allows you to feel accomplishments. Remember those three. And then your goal size is small and large. The small should be about that 18-day mark, 2-week mark, and they should always lead to a larger goal. And those larger goals should be accomplishment oriented, and they should be attainable, but barely attainable. Unlike what Chris is saying, me being a Bernie fan, unattainable. But I appreciate the I appreciate your candor. And then my categories, I have my personal and professional. And then Chris added a good one there. You have your educational goals, and I kind of almost fit that under education, your health. Break those down into however you need to break them down. But put long-term goals. And one thing I forgot to mention on here, because we kind of talk about year-long goals. Look at goals 3, 5, and 10 years out too. Don't forget about those goals as well. When I was at my 2-year point in the Navy, I thought to myself, you know what? I saw my Divo, this guy, Chris, dang it, I can't remember his last name, but he was a lieutenant and he just had his stuff together. And this guy, Chris something, lieutenant, whatever his name was, he was a Chris Carter, there we go. Guy was an absolute motivator to me, and I looked at him and said, man, I want to be like that guy. And then I looked at my captain at the time, Captain Klein, and I said, I want to be like that guy. And so, listen, Poor Pig Farmer, MM3 Kincaid, barely made it in the Nuke program, and here I'm saying I want to be like the captain one day. And I knew the way to get that to happen was, A, I had to get an education, because the Yelm High School public education system, although I appreciate you guys, just wasn't going to get me to the top notch there. I needed to go to college, and then also I know I needed to change my mindset in how I thought, which is kind of move to the next level of professionalism. So that next level of professionalism I've still struggled with to this day, but I'll keep working on it. The education stuff, I said, you know what? Within 10 years from now, I'm going to be a commissioned officer, and I gave myself a 10-year goal. And I said, within 5 years from now, I'm going to have a college education. And mind you, that was in, let me see, 2000, right? And so I missed that 5-year mark. And this is kind of an important point that I want to make. Oh, your internet's going out. Sorry, Dale. You guys are still in North Carolina, right? It gets pretty cold there, I know. It's pretty rough here. I think it's about 42 here in Washington. Really beautiful day. Lily's actually outside riding her bike around in the driveway. So, anyway, I think where was I? One of my points of this was set those goals far out, and I want you guys to look at when you set those goals, those 3, 5, and 10-year mark. If you don't accomplish those goals exactly when you want to accomplish them, it doesn't necessarily mean that you stop the goal or you drop the goal. And my point in case is, at my 2-year mark in the Navy, I just showed up to my first ship, 1999 or 2000, whatever it was. I think it was May of 2000, that's what it was. And I met this Lieutenant Carter, and I was blown away by how this guy was. And, at the time I didn't realize, listen, the guy was probably 2 years older than me. I guess he was 6 years older than me. And he's just a nub lieutenant, didn't really know what he was doing. But to me, as a junior third, he had his stuff together, right? And he was an example for me. So that's in 2000, and I said, man, that's the guy I want to be, and I know I got to get a degree to get there. And I said, in 5 years, I'm going to have a degree. In 10 years, I'm going to be an officer. So 2000, I did get my degree. I had that opportunity. I went to Prototype, and I was an instructor there, and then I had a chance to get a degree, and I didn't finish it until 2007. Well, if I had said in 2005, well, I don't got a degree, I guess, it's just not a goal that I can attain, then I would never be where I'm at today. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep on pushing. And I rethought my goals, and I reestablished new goals to make sure that the end goal, the end accomplishment was going to happen. I just had to readjust my timeline. In 7 years, I was able to get my degree. But the cool thing is that at that 10-year mark, I did get commissioned, and I did get commissioned before my after the end of the day, 12-year point in the Navy, and everything, the rest is, as I say, is history. But my point is, just because you don't meet those goals first time around doesn't mean you give up on your goals. Just keep on pushing for them, right? Or reset your timeline. Or maybe you misjudged how long it would take for you to get there, or misjudged how much work it would take. That's fine, no worries. Just stop what you're doing, reset your mind, your mentality, and then move forward on it, okay? Goals are meant to be hard. If they're not hard, then they're not going to be a goal that's worth having, right? And that kind of leads me to my next saying that I've always tried to keep in mind every time that something is just tough, right? Is that anything worth having is worth working for. And I don't know where I heard that. I don't even know if I came up with it. I don't have a clue, but it's just a mantra that I kind of say over anything worth having is worth working for. I'm in a 900 square foot shop that was a gutted pile of crap when I got it, and I built it myself, and it was hard, and it's hard to maintain this amount of work as a second full-time job essentially. But if it's worth having, and it is, it's worth working for, and it's something that I keep in mind. And another thing I want to talk about goals, little tidbits of information, is, you know what? Don't be afraid to attach your emotions to your goals. If you make goals that don't matter to you, then who cares if you accomplish them? But if you make goals where your emotions are attached to them, and you let your emotions be attached to them, it's okay to feel like garbage when you don't attain them. It's okay to go, man, I didn't, beat yourself up a little bit about it, and go, okay, well, you know what? I didn't attain it. That's fine. You don't win every race. Get back on the horse and get back in the race and accomplish the goal. But attach your emotion to it. Otherwise, what's the point of having the goal if it doesn't make you emotionally feel like you're moving towards bettering yourself? So attach your emotion, right? And if it's worth working for, if it's worth having, it's worth working for. And also, you know, I'm throwing this out there on New Year's Eve on 2017 for a purpose, because I want to talk about you know, bringing in the new year with new goals. That's cool. But I want to say any day is a good day to start a new goal. So set your goals whenever you want to set them. Any day is good, you know, to set your new goals. And you know, don't be misled by people on the internet or people on social media putting out memes about how it's been a weekend, I've already failed my goals, and you guys are idiots for even setting New Year's resolutions, and I would never do that. You want to set it on the 1st of January, set it on the 1st of January. You want to set your new goal on the 2nd of January because your goal was to not drink, and then you got hammered on January 1st. Okay, the start of the 2nd of January. It's no big deal. Okay, cool. So that's my goal setting this week. And another professional goal that I forgot to mention is that we're going to be I want to be getting out to you guys a lot more of these, going live and talking and just share my feelings on stuff. And we can talk about things like goal setting. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about, what I want to talk about, what you want to talk about. I've always tried to let the customers and my fans figure out what they want to hear from me. So what they want to see from my shop. We'll make projects. I have a couple of big projects coming up this year. I plan on making a snowboard. I've always wanted to do that, so we're going to make that happen. I've already been researching parts and projects, and we'll figure out that one. We'll do small projects for the kids to do. You know, maybe you can buy. People at their homes can use their small shops to make cool projects like train whistles and stuff like that for kids, and be kind of a fun thing to do with your family. And then we'll talk about like basic joinery issues this year with they're just making cutting boards or dovetail joints or you know, mortise and tenon joints, all kinds of joints we'll talk about, and how to improve your woodworking. And yeah, it'll be whatever we want it to be. So let me know if you like it. I did tell you about a giveaway. We are going to do a giveaway since we're doing goals this month. We're going to do a teal gold digger. Made you a teal. The camera doesn't seem to be picking the color so well, but it's a teal gold digger tumbler. These things are awesome. I'm a fan. I was not sold on these things when I first got them, but you know, after seeing ice not melt in them for, I mean, 12 hours later, I came back and the ice had gone down maybe a third. I was blown away. So these things are awesome. We're going to do this gold digger giveaway at 5 o'clock tomorrow night. So on the 1st of January at 5 o'clock, I'm going to put a link up to this. I want you to like it. I want you to share it. And I want you to comment, I'm a gold digger. Get it? I'm a gold digger. And then I'll do a random generator at 5 o'clock tomorrow night, and we'll figure out who gets it shipped to them. So if you don't like this design, there'll be more designs in the future, and we'll do other giveaways in the future. If you do like this design, then great. Either way, you should comment. Either way, you should like, and either way, you should share. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one, and Happy New Year, and make them goals, baby.